Hello, I'm here on Church Street on this busy Tuesday afternoon. It really is a busy day. There's a lot going on. My mate's over there, the rapper, God bless you. There's a few religious people, other buskers. Church Street is busy. Alarming, even disturbing news has been coming into Jones. People travelling on public transport, namely buses, have noticed new arrivals sitting down and not leaving their seat or giving their seat up for women, children or elderly. They're remaining seated. Well, that doesn't surprise Joe Owens, because like I've said, they've got different ways, beliefs, values, standards to ours, and they're not about to forsake theirs to embrace our Scouts' ways, beliefs, values. And this is what is happening now. It's not Joe Owens picking on people. It's not Joe Owens unnecessarily having to go with anyone. This is how it is. This is the real world. And the new arrivals, those refusing to give up their seat, they're probably laughing at those who are standing. They've probably got only utter contempt for our hospitality. You silly politicians, journalists, so-called super scousers don't seem to realise, or maybe you do, you're just too scared to say. Has anyone else experienced such an unfortunate, what's the word for it? Experience, probably not the right word, but all the same, has anyone experienced it where a relative or themselves even that have been, who are elderly, a woman, a child, a pregnant lady, whoever, where new arrivals have refused to leave their seat when it's customary to do so? Can you please let Joe Owens know, or maybe other alarming and disturbing things that are now happening in our city? You see, like I've said, they come to our city with different ways, beliefs, values, standards, right? And they're not about to forsake those ways, beliefs, values, standards to embrace our Scouts ways. They're not going to do that at all. They're going to keep hold of their ways. Like I've said, the more and more new arrivals come into our glorious city, we will lose more and more of our unique Scouts character, traditions and cultural identity. This is how it works, ladies and gentlemen, not the fantasy world of Dan Carden. Diversity is our strength baloney. Where's that? Can anyone tell me where that is? It's news to me. Or Ian Byrne, my MP, refugees welcome. Or even Paula Barker, who I'll be challenging in the constituents of Wavertree in the forthcoming general election. What planet are you people on? But you know exactly what's happening to our people. This is a tragedy. People on public transport, that as far as I'm aware, for as long as I can remember, you got up and left your seat for women, elderly women, pregnant women, children. The new arrivals have no intention of getting up and leaving their seat, right? They're probably laughing at us, right? They're laughing at our hospitality that you, silly, those I criticise, don't seem to want to acknowledge. You know it, deep down you know, you're not that dumb, surely. Right? They have no intention, the new arrivals, of embracing our Scouts' ways, beliefs, values, standards. They have no intention whatsoever, right? And we're seeing this now on public transport. People getting in touch with Joe Owens. They're just sitting on the seat, refusing to give it up. And as I've said, they're probably laughing at those standards. Because as I've said, where they come from, they've got different ways, beliefs, values, standards than ours, and they're not about to embrace our ways, our Scouts' ways, right? So the more and more Liverpool changes. YouTube, mate.
What's YouTube, man? What's YouTube?
Joe Owens. Joe Owens. All right, lads. Cheers. So, like you keep saying, right? 2 new supporters, young lads, brilliant. So, all right, mate. So what I'm saying is everything Joe Owens is saying, it's bearing truth, isn't it? It's coming true, because they're not the same as us. They're not. They've came to our city with different ways, beliefs, values, standards that they've no intention whatsoever of forsaking. They're not going to embrace our ways. They're going to impose theirs upon our Scouse ways, and that's why it's up to us to stop this. This is our city, and also the Scouts' inheritance, rightfully our children. We can't leave it to these people and their children and grandchildren. I'm sorry for being selfish. I'm sorry this may sound unfair, but that's the way it is, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, and always has been and always will be. Do you really believe if we went to their places, do you really believe they'd be forsaken their children and grandchildren's inheritance to pass to us? Right, you'd have to be insane to believe that. Yet, our reckless politicians, journalists and super Scousers, they seem to believe it's okay to throw our priceless, treasured Scouse inheritance, give it away to the new arrivals and their children and grandchildren. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for sounding selfish, but I am putting my fellow Scousers first, and that's how it should be. That's what these politicians should be doing, right? Let's hope in the forthcoming general election, where I'll be challenging Paula Barker in the constituency of Wavesey, it reflects in votes. Joe Owens must get an excellent vote. It would be truly amazing if I won. That would just be fantastic. Cultural change would stop dead in its tracks. Joe Owens is in Parliament, trust me. Right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting really, really busy. But once again, I bring the good people of Liverpool from Church Street, the heart of Liverpool city centre. I bring them the awful truth, and this is the awful truth. Elderly, pregnant, women in general, children, they're standing while new arrivals stay in their seats. They're not giving up their seats. They've no intention of. They're just laughing at us, right? And like I've said before, do you really believe the new arrivals in Kensington or Fairfield are watching the telly with their feet up, praising us Scousers for our hospitality in the future we've given them in our wonderful city? Do you really believe they're sitting there either saying it out loud to one another or just thinking, talking out loud or just thinking about it, that these Scousers are wonderful people? We've got to repay their hospitality and all that stuff. Do you really, you have to excuse me, it's getting busy now. Do you really believe they're sitting there with their feet up, saying to one another or thinking out loud, that's it? What a wonderful bunch of people these Scousers are, the hospitality and future they've given us in their city. Do you really believe that? They're laughing at us, right? I'm sure there's some that are thankful, but by and large, vast majority will not be. Because it's not in their ways, beliefs, values and standards to think like that. In fact, the complete opposite. We must oppose any further cultural change to our glorious city, or we will pay for this long term. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, long term, this will come back and bite us in the backside. It will become a nightmare. We need to stop this now, right? We need to stop the influx of new arrivals coming into our city. The only solution is those new arrivals who are prepared to embrace the Scouse fam. You're more than welcome, and that's embrace all our ways, beliefs, values, standards. Those who believe, which I believe is the majority, believe we can't accommodate their needs. They need to go to another town or city that can, then we close the door. You politicians, if you have a better counter proposal, I'm all ears and I'm waiting, right? You, Ian Byrne, my MP, Refugees Welcome, Ricky Tomlinson, Coach for Refugees, few bob in the pocket, Jan Corden, Diverse is your strength, baloney, Liam Thorpe, the Liverpool Echo, Paula Barker, all of them. If you have a more sensible, practical counter proposal, I'm all ears and I'm waiting. Remember, no to cultural change, yes to Scouse pride. Shout it out loud, Scouse and proud. Okay, thank you.